it's Lindsay. Lately, I have been in the mood to reorganize my apartment. I just felt like I was being really consumed by a lot of things in my apartment, and the past month I have been wanting to simplify my space. I am not a minimalist by any means. I feel like if you look at my apartment, it's kind of like half minimal, half cluttered in a way. Like there's still a lot of things around, and it's not to say that minimalism is bad. I just really want to surround myself with the things that I love and need. There's nothing wrong with being a minimalist, of course, but if you are looking to simplify your space because you've been feeling overwhelmed in it as well, hopefully these tips will help you guys. Tip number 1, declutter often and keep what you need and what you actually use. You'd be amazed by the amount of stuff that you actually don't need or use. I usually have a big decluttering session, maybe about twice a year. I go through books, DVDs, clothes, sheets, home stuff, kitchen stuff, pretty much anything. I try to keep things that have a purpose to them or have intention. I don't really want to have stuff just to have stuff. I really do try to keep things that I know I will absolutely use in the future. I just want to be really intentional with the things that I own, and the more that you get rid of things that you don't need, the more space that you will have in your home. If you're having trouble decluttering something, one of the tips that I suggest is to give yourself a deadline of when you want to use this item by, and if you don't use it within that time frame, then maybe revisit it and consider. Another tip that I do suggest is to realize that the less stuff you have, the less you have to clean or worry about. I know that's kind of silly, but that is something that I do think about from time to time. I do find it easier to maintain and clean my space when I don't have so many items. Not only does decluttering the things that you don't need help clear your space, but it also helps clear your mind as well. My second tip is to try and keep your countertops clear of stuff. I gotta say, I think I got this habit from my mom. My mom was always like this growing up. She didn't really want to have too many products on the countertops, like in the bathroom, for example. She didn't really have our toothpaste and our toothbrush and all our body products out. She really kept it simple. For me, I usually try to keep my bathroom countertops clear. Again, kind of like my mom, I will keep the soap dispenser, maybe a decoration for the kitchen countertops. Just keep a few things on there. For me, I like to have a fruit basket, a cookbook, and our coffee machine. I know maybe that might seem like a lot, but I didn't want it to be completely clear. I still like to have a few things of my personal touch on there as well. With clear countertops, it just helps reduce visual clutter. My third tip is to embrace empty space. This goes for the empty corner in your room or the blank wall that you have. Just learn to embrace that and realize that you don't have to fill it with stuff. To me, sometimes it feels very cluttering to have something on every single wall or every single corner. It's just nice to have a little bit of breathing space when you have an empty space in your room. Again, it goes back to that whole visual clutter. When you embrace empty space, it will be less cluttering to your eyes. My next tip is to utilize storage boxes. It kind of goes with that saying of out of sight, out of mind. I felt like with everything being displayed, it was kind of just stressing me out to look at it. For example, with my daughter's room, she had so many books and toys displayed in her cubby shelves, and it was just very overwhelming and stressful to look at every time I entered the room. I invested in storage boxes to put all the toys in there, and it made a huge difference every time I walked into the room. I wasn't just seeing straight away all the stuff being displayed. It was a lot more neater in storage boxes. I feel like this tip is also kind of a little out there, but I also feel like it kind of goes with this. When it comes to seasonal clothing, keep the stuff that you are not using stored separately. It won't take up as much space when you pack your seasonal items, and it's also kind of fun to bring them out again when it's time to use them. It's kind of exciting in a way. Again, out of sight, out of mind, less visually cluttering, which is the theme of this video. The next tip is more of a preventative measure, and it's to really think before you bring in. This will help reduce things accumulating over time and will help maintain that simple space. There are a few things I like to think about for this, and the first one is extremely obvious, but is it something that you need or will you actually use? There are a lot of things that I have talked myself out of that I wanted because I knew in the back of my head that it was something that I don't need or I won't use. There are just gonna be things that I knew would take up a lot of space that I just didn't want in my home. My next tip I feel like kind of piggybacks off my last tip, but it's to learn how to be more patient. Again, this is another thing that is easier said than done, but try and learn how to be a little bit more patient when it comes to decorating your space. There are numerous of times where I have impulsively purchased something that just took up space that I didn't need that I ended up decluttering. I think that if you give yourself that time to really think about that purchase that you're about to make, it will help save you money in the long run and help make you realize that maybe you don't need it. Again, I think that if you think really hard about what you're bringing into your home, you're more likely to have less clutter and be surrounded by the things that you love. My last tip I feel like helps you achieve that simplistic mentality, and it's to be thankful for what you have. I feel like that this is something that's very easily forgotten, especially in this day and age where we have social media and we see what our friends and family have gotten or how their space looks. I feel like it's amazing to have social media, but I definitely feel like it's kind of a platform where it's easy for us to compare ourselves to others. If you become more grateful and thankful for the things that you already have, it just becomes something that is a lot more special to you rather than thinking it's just disposable. But ultimately, being thankful helps you have a happier mindset. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed and found this helpful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. And if you have any tips to help simplify your home, please leave them in the comment section below. Thanks so much for watching, and I will talk to you all later. Bye, everyone.